Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Babloon, aka Pabloon, and today I have yet another top 5 video for you guys. A long time ago, and it's actually my best top 5 video because, well, it's a subject that everyone can relate to. It's top 5 annoying players or something like that. I wanted to do the opposite of that and do the top 5 good guys of Blitz. So these are, no specific people, but it's stuff that these players do in game that I really like, and therefore they are the top 5 good guys. And unlike the annoying players and should we call them less skilled players on the other list, this could actually make you not finish last. In Blitz, good guys do not finish last. So yeah, let's talk about this. So, the number 5 spot is going to be the CV Master. A lot of you guys probably thought I was not going to put a CV in here, but I think CVs, when they know what to do, are amazing. So what do I mean by CV Master? I mean a CV who uses his fighters to help out the team. Let's say I was playing this Hipper here and there's a CV attacking me. He would be putting fighters above me. The good CV player is the one who spots important targets. When a destroyer goes completely covert and you can't see him, the CV goes out to spot him. It's the CV player that reacts to pings when you request air support or whatever. These guys, man, they are gonna almost make you win a game, guaranteed, because the CV is such a powerful class that it is really nice when somebody has decided to actually respect the skill level of them, at least some of them, and the responsibilities of the class, and put it to use. It's very rare to see, but you know who you are out there. You do deserve some credit. Even though I don't like CVs, we are forced to play with them, and whenever I get a good guy on my team, it's just amazing. So it at least feels better than getting the good guy on the other team, because then you know you've lost. So yeah, that is going to be the number 5 spot, the Master CV player, man. Good guys all around. Kind of. They do have a dark spot because they're CV mains, but we'll look through that. We'll look past it. So number 4 is the destroyer player that plays for the team and uses his guns. And what do I mean by playing for his team? What I mean by that is actually, it's going to be a common theme in this video, because it is how you play Blitz. Well, it's a team game. It is playing for the team. When destroyers play for their team, they are the ones that go into the cap. They're the ones who don't shoot first because they need to spot the enemy team. A good destroyer player knows when to be patient and when not to go in. A good destroyer player, he looks at the beginning of the game. He checks the loading screen to see if there are, let's say you're playing a gearing or a shimakaze or whatever. It's a torpedo destroyer. And you look and see on the enemy team, okay, we have a gearing and a shimakaze, they have a Kleber and a Rugolo. A good destroyer player will not rush into the cap. So, what do I mean by this? A good destroyer player is the one that realizes he's in a weak ship and can easily be taken out. But at the same time, as a weak ship, you have a huge toolkit: spotting, speed, maneuverability, torpedoes that may be one shot, depending on what destroyer you play. And not a lot of destroyer players do that. How could you, end up in the bad destroyer player category? Well, that is something like when you're playing a shimakaze and you spend the first 3 minutes flanking around the map, not capturing, not spotting, not doing anything, and like I said, not using your guns. I've played a little bit of shimakaze in my days, and I'm using shima here as an example for a reason, guys. And every time I've played it, I've just been thinking to myself, how come most shimakaze players out there, I know there's a lot of you are great, but most of them don't even use their guns. And to me, that is a sign of not wanting to understand the game completely, because any other good player would be using their guns because they can't get away. Another thing that a lot of DD players don't do, I find, is not using your concealment. So when shit's hitting the fan, you don't stop shooting your guns or use your smoke to get away, stuff like that. So number 4 here, man, it's for the DD players that play for the team, that see their class as one of the most powerful in the game. If there's no CV in the game, you're the most powerful ship. And it's very nice when you have some DD players that know what to do with that. I have a lot of friends that know what to do with that, so I have definitely seen the power of destroyers in my time here on YouTube. So here in number 3, it's probably one of the biggest infuriating factors for me in this game, and it is the battleship player that anchors and spawns. So the good guy is the battleship player who pushes out and helps his team. So the BB's role in a game, right, it is to be the big artillery that conserves a little bit of HP in the beginning, trying to take out important targets, and then pushes in. There is unfortunately a very sad, trend here, at least on EU I've noticed, where BBs just hang back, and it's such a bad thing to do, because if a battleship pushes, let's not use this Nebraska here as an example, he might be the one and only battleship that doesn't benefit from this. Although it is a Nebraska on Nebraska fight here, pretty interesting. No, a battleship that pushes in can change the game. Let's say you've been sitting, it's a center control map, you've been sitting back, it's hitting the 3-minute mark, you have a little bit over half HP left, but there's some other BBs with you. If you know there's no destroyers and you just push in, that is gonna almost guarantee you the win, because battleship players that don't use their HP pools and their tankiness to make a break and, end the game, tie the noose, right, enemy team's gone, that's a bad battleship player. So the good guy, man, to all those BB players out there, you're good guys if you push out and help your team at the right time. It's a hard thing to learn, but it's something that I think all BB players should know how to do and when to do. So yeah, let's move on to number 2. And I think this one is the most important when it comes to classes, and this is where most players fail. It is the cruiser that actually supports his team. So if you're a really good guy, if you're playing a cruiser that has some some utility for his team, and you actually use it, what do I mean when I say utility? Well, the best example would be Worcester. If you have yourself a Worcester, you would know, I hope, what supporting means. And probably the most annoying thing for a team, and probably one of the worst things for a team, is a cruiser player who, like the battleship, just hangs back. Does not use his radar, does not use his sonar, doesn't smoke up in the right positions, doesn't help with the destroyer with caps, and if you have AA, doesn't put himself in a position where his AA can help, minuscule the damage that your battleships will take. I mean, every time I'm playing my Worcester, if I see we're playing versus Midway or Malta, I will always put myself in between the battleships and the CV. It's something that, a lot of cruiser players just don't think about, and it's fair, because it's a lot having to deal with, being a big ship, first of all, can be easily hit. And second of all, also having to constantly push out DPM. It's why it's one of the hardest classes to play, and it's such a varied class. But to those of you out there, man, that know how to do this, it's something that took me years to know exactly, and I'm still not good at it, but realizing that when you are playing a cruiser that has these types of skills, or specialties, let's call it, and not using them to benefit your team, that is a bad cruiser player, and you're gonna end up in the annoying category instead of the good guy category. So yeah, that is the number 2 spot, man. And we've all been there, you gotta start somewhere, right? Don't be hard on yourself if you just figure this out now, because it is a very intricate game. But yeah, there's some good guys out there, man. You know who you are. If you're on this list, man, congratulations. Thank you for being a good commander. But let's take the number 1 spot now. So the number 1 spot here, and this is, man, I light up with joy when this happens in the game. I flip my shit. It is the player that reacts to callouts and pings. So the best example I have for this is something that happens quite often on stream also for me. I mean, you see it all the time, or in my videos, is when a CV player, for example, presses forward in the beginning of the game and forgets that he's going forward. So you notice it, and then you ping him. You say retreat, or you ping in front of him, ping his ship, say no, something like that to get his attention and make him realize you're gonna be ending yourself in a couple minutes here. Like, you're unaliving yourself, bro. Please don't. We need you. And then they completely go full reverse, and they just start reversing. That is the most amazing thing when a player reacts to a call out. This doesn't have to be anything specific to CVs. It could also be I've tried this multiple times, actually, when I am playing my cruisers. I have a tendency to go a little bit hard sometimes, I could relax, and I get a ping, sometimes from my viewers, actually, which I really do appreciate, because it's what you have teammates for. Calls me out, say, bro, you're a little bit too pushed up, maybe you should relax, come back, and, you gotta react to that, bro. it's not a one-man army show. It's a team effort. You're only, you know, as strong as the weakest link. So if you as a player goes out on the flank completely solo, yeah, you're not going to be doing anything for your team, and your players, you know, teammates call you out, you gotta react to it, man. So that is kind of like my list here, and you guys, I think we're gonna keep going with this gameplay here. It's just a Kleber gameplay from stream a while ago, but yeah, I actually had a really good team this game. If you look at the battleships, man, they've always been close to the caps, holding down the map control in the middle. Now they're progressing out to take the Republic. The cruiser players were very, very quick to, you know, find any threats such as destroyers, support them with the battleship farming. And the DD player, 2 DD players we had, did a really good job of, you know, again, securing the map, holding down the fort. And this guy who went all the way over to Charlie took out everything there. You know, this is what I mean. The good guys of Blitz, they know their role. When they queue up for a DD game, they do their shit. And likewise with the other classes. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think are the good guys of this game. My name has been Bobloon, aka Pabloon, and I am signing out.